feels good. I'm about, like when your hands a little bit more,
hand
and a half.
Gotta hand it to you, Clifton. It's a good place to be.
I see what you did there. Okay, let's do this before
I think I got
shows up.
a handle on my puns, you could say.
Hey everybody, welcome to Seriously Lighthearted Yoga. Today we're going to be talking about a very sort of interesting topic. It's 4 different paths of yoga. It is
we call them margas.
the margas, and they kind of join up at this precipice that we've been calling enlightenment, that we've been speaking about of enlightenment, or in the case of yoga, the word yoga, unity. So what are the 4 margas? We're just going to kind of give you a brief introduction here on how they're going to affect your yoga practice.
The 4 margas, as Clifton said, are kind of the 4 different paths to enlightenment, and it's kind of confusing when you say it that way because they aren't ever separate from each other. Everyone just kind of follows these 4 different paths in differing proportions. So everyone has all 4 in some combination in their yoga practice, whether they're going to just an asana class or practicing meditation for hours a day. So everyone has some combination of all 4 of these. These 4 things can kind of be thought of as like a pyramid of sorts. So you think of a pyramid, it's got a square base, the 4 different things that we're talking about here, the margas. And then it kind of rises up to one single point, 4 different faces, and that also brings up a few different things here. So there are 4 different faces, or maybe 4 different perspectives on the enlightenment. Each of these has a different perspective on what that end goal is, and then these all have a slightly different path that they follow when you're trying to, say, accomplish the pure form of it. And we are going to, in future videos, lay out the perspective of that end goal, 2, the path that you get there, and 3, the kind of premise of each of these paths. And without any further ado, the 4 paths that we're talking about here are Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga, Bhakti Yoga, and then Raja Yoga. And most of what we've been talking about up to now is Raja Yoga. And that comes, the Yoga Sutras of Patanjali are seen as kind of like one of the seminal works of Raja Yoga. But again, every yogic practice has all 4 of these in some combination, and we're going to get into those. So yeah, stay tuned for the next 4 videos, guys.
Yeah, absolutely. We're going to be breaking all of those down in their own individual videos in the coming days. So stay tuned for those. If you're a little bit confused, don't fret too much.
This video is more to prepare you for the next 4. So.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so we're gonna be laying it out much better for you in the future, or at least in more explanatory depth for sure. So stay tuned for those. It's going to be exciting to talk about those. One thing that I'm not sure you at least fully mentioned is every person and every person's yoga has a bit of every one of those.
Yeah, everyone's got a certain predisposition to some combination.
Some combination of those. So you can't have solely one. It's going to be a combination of it's going to be a combination of all of them. But how much you have of each is going to be different for every person.
Go back to that pyramid. You can't have just the one corner.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and so we're talking about creating your yoga practice too. It's about finding which portion of these is the proper ones for you. So, anyway, give somebody a high five. See you guys tomorrow. We'll talk about it more in depth then.